After Denmark's defeat in the Second Schleswig War in 1864, Danish brothers John and Peter Jensen leave their war-torn homeland and immigrate to America, seeking a fresh start in the New World. For 7 long, difficult years, they work tirelessly to establish themselves on the harsh American frontier, while John remains painfully separated from his beloved wife Marie and young son Kristian, who stayed behind in Denmark. The prolonged separation has left a deep, aching void in John's heart as he dreams of their reunion. In 1871, John and Peter wait with overwhelming excitement and anticipation at a dusty frontier train station as Marie and Kristian finally arrive for their long-awaited reunion. John's joy is immeasurable as he embraces his wife and son after years of longing. Peter mentions he has some important business to handle in town and will catch up with them later. So the reunited family begins their journey home by stagecoach through the desolate, unforgiving landscape. Their peaceful and precious reunion is brutally shattered when 2 dangerous, menacing men board the stagecoach. One is Paul Delarue, brother of the notorious and feared gang leader Henry Delarue. Paul, recently released from prison with cold, hostile eyes, begins harassing Marie despite her inability to speak English, offering her alcoholic drinks and making increasingly uncomfortable and threatening advances that terrify the family. When Paul becomes aggressive and tries to touch Marie inappropriately, John intervenes.
What is your name?
My wife's name is Marie.
Paul's companion pulls a gun on John while Paul escalates his assault. Desperate to save his family, John whispers to Marie in Danish, telling her to bite Paul's ear. In the resulting chaos, John grabs the thug's gun, but Paul takes advantage and violently grabs Kristian, pressing a knife to the boy's throat. He orders John off the moving stagecoach or he'll kill the family. One of the men kicks John off, leaving him helpless as his family disappears into darkness. John discovers Kristian's lifeless body lying abandoned by the roadside. Completely heartbroken and consumed with overwhelming grief, he collapses beside his murdered son, holding the small body and weeping uncontrollably. But grief quickly transforms into cold, calculated determination for revenge. Using his hard-earned military skills from the war, he methodically tracks the abandoned stagecoach. With deadly precision, he kills one gangster and relentlessly pursues Paul through the dark night. Paul pathetically begs for his life, claiming innocence, but John executes him without mercy or hesitation.
I didn't touch the boy.
The next morning, Peter finds John grieving over the bodies of both Marie and Kristian. The brothers embrace, both devastated, and now all they have left is each other. The scene shifts to Black Creek, where Henry Delarue, a ruthless former Union Army colonel, rides into town with his gang. He approaches Mayor Nathan Keene and demands answers about 2 dead men found nearby. What the townspeople don't realize is that one of the dead men is Delarue's brother, Paul. Delarue gives the town until noon to find the killer, or he'll execute 2 innocent townspeople.
You have until noon to find the man that did this. Or you bring me 2 of your people.
When the deadline passes, Delarue selects his victims, elderly Mrs. Borowski, who owns the gun shop, and a disabled man.
Please, Father.
Despite Mrs. Borowski praying for his soul, Delarue shoots both without hesitation. As Wojciech, Mrs. Borowski's grandson, cries helplessly, Delarue kills a 3rd person to demonstrate his absolute power over the town. John and Peter, known for their shooting skills, attract suspicion as they travel west. In Black Creek, John tries to sell his land to Mayor Keene, who offers only half price due to Delarue's extortion.
Well, I couldn't possibly give you more than 145.
John realizes with horror that he killed Paul Delarue and reluctantly accepts the low offer, hiding the money in his boot, as Keene suggests. Meanwhile, Delarue meets with Standard Atlantic Oil Company representatives who pay him to forcibly acquire oil-rich land. The federal government has abandoned Black Creek, leaving Sheriff Malik without support. The oil company wants Delarue to help them control the area through force and intimidation.
Standard Atlantic
is a modern company, Colonel Delarue, and we need our operations to look civilized.
Peter is arrested after breaking a deputy's jaw. Sheriff Malik urges John to surrender, believing his death might buy the town time for federal help. At sunrise, Malik reluctantly hands John over to Delarue's gang. John is bound to a wooden post under the scorching sun to die slowly. When Delarue arrives with Melline, Paul's mute widow whom he calls the princess, John tells her that Paul murdered his child and assaulted his wife. Delarue silences him with a brutal punch.
Your beloved husband killed my 10-year-old son. Then he raped my wife.
Peter escapes jail by provoking his guard, then rescues his weakened brother during a rainstorm. However, Delarue's men pursue them on horseback. John, weakened from exposure, falls from his horse. Peter hides him behind rocks, then uses himself as bait to draw the gang away, sacrificing his safety for his brother's survival. John awakens dehydrated and desperate, drinking from a muddy puddle. His relief turns to horror when he sees one of Delarue's men dragging Peter's lifeless body behind a horse. At Delarue's base, Melline steals the oil company money and flees to the train station. Delarue tracks her down and beats her, but she defiantly spits blood back at him. Stumbling through the landscape, John encounters Mrs. Whistler, a tough landowner who lost her husband to Delarue's violence. She provides him with food and water. That night, John forces Mayor Keene at gunpoint to return his stolen money and boots. Under interrogation, Keene confesses he's been helping Delarue acquire land deeds.
That means somebody's got to take care of these matters.
Get him.
Oh, look, I'm just trying to make a good living, you know?
John visits Mrs. Whistler's store, now run by her grandson Wojciech, and gathers supplies including ammunition and flammables. He urges Wojciech to inform Sheriff Malik about the corrupt partnership between Delarue and Keene. The next morning, John sets his plan in motion. He places Keene's dead body in a coffin as a decoy and has it delivered to Delarue. When Delarue opens it and sees the corpse, he's shocked and orders his men to burn it.
Brought his own coffin. Burn him.
Wojciech starts a bonfire as a distraction while John begins shooting from cover. Wojciech bravely climbs to a rooftop with flammable supplies but alerts a thug below. The man finds Melline bound upstairs and drags her away. Wojciech wounds the thug, but the man retaliates and kills the brave boy. As the killer gloats and lights a cigarette, he's unaware that spilled fuel has soaked the floor. The flame ignites the fuel, causing a massive explosion. John rushes toward the burning building, sees the thug dragging Melline outside, and shoots him in the leg with precise aim. However, stepping into the open, John makes a critical mistake. He's forgotten about Delarue. The gang leader shoots John, knocking him down and standing over him mockingly. Just as Delarue prepares the killing shot, Melline appears and kills him with a hidden weapon. In the aftermath, John and Melline briefly point weapons at each other before lowering them, recognizing their shared loss and defeated enemy. Sheriff Malik arrives with backup and thanks John for saving the town. When Malik eyes Melline suspiciously, John declares she's under his protection. The film ends with John and Melline, two survivors bound by tragedy and justice, mounting their horses and riding off together into the frontier to begin a new chapter built on mutual understanding and survival.